Lewis Clark State College's Shakespeare class presents an audio performance of William Shakespeare's Macbeth, starring Eric Kelly as Macbeth, Jade Mosman as Lady Macbeth, Grayson Richardson, Carly Smith, and Blaise Duggar as the witches, Cameron Atkinson as Banquo, Trenton Delva as Duncan, Jackson Fuller as Malcolm, Jessica Weller as Ross, Cassandra Ark as Macduff, Katie Wilkins as Lennox, Austin Landcamer as Angus and the Messenger, Sam Armstrong as Seward and the Old Man, Brooks Uhas as Seaton and the Captain, poster design by Jesse McFarland, production manager Caden Massey, who also plays Lady Macduff's son, sound design by Roland Wiaskas, directed by Professor Peter Amin. Our scene is medieval Scotland. 3 witches gather upon a heath.
When shall we three meet again? In thunder, lightning, or in rain?
When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won.
That will be ere the set of sun.
Worthy place.
Upon the heath,
There to meet Macbeth.
I come, Grey Malkin.
paddock calls.
Anon.
Fair is foul and foul is fair.
Hover through the fog and filthy air.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight, of the revolt the newest state.
This is the sergeant, who like a good and hardy soldier fought gainst my captivity. Hail, brave friend, say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as 2 spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art, the merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him, from the western isles of kerns and gallaglasses is supplied, and fortune, on his damned quarrels smiling, showed like a rebel's whore, but all's too weak, for brave Macbeth, well he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution like the valor's minion carved out of his passage, till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps, and fixed his head upon our battlements.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman, who comes here?
The worthy Thane of Ross, what a haste looks through his eyes. So should he look, that seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence cameth thou, worthy Thane?
From Fife, great king, with the Norwegian banners flout the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor. The Thane of Cawdor began a dismal conflict, till that Bellona's bridegroom, lapped in proof, confronted him with self-comparisons, point against point rebellious, arm against arm, curbing his lavish spirit, and to conclude the victory fell on us.
Great happiness.
That now Sweno, the Norway's king, craves composition, nor would we deign him burial of his men, till he disbursed at Saint's Colm's inch $10,000 to our general use.
No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce his present death, and with his former title greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What he hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
After the battle, Macbeth and his friend Banquo return home to Inverness. On the road, they encounter the 3 witches.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen.
How fair is called to Forest? What are these, so withered and so wild in their attire, that look not like the inhabitants of the earth, and yet are on't? Live you, or are you aught that man may question? You seem to understand me by each that wants her chappy finger laying upon her skinny lips. You should be women, and yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
All hail Macbeth. Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth, thou shalt be king hereafter.
Good sir, why do you not start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? Aye, the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or that indeed which outwardly ye show? My noble partner, you greet with present grace and great prediction of noble having and of royal hope, that he seems wrapped withal. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time and say which grain will grow and which will not, speak then to me, who neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
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 Lesser than Macbeth and greater.
Not so happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Sinel's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis, but how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentleman, and to be king stands not within the prospect of belief, no more than to be Cawdor. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop our way with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you.
The earth hath bubbles, as the water has, and these are of them. Whither are they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed.
Were such things here as we do speak about, or have we eaten on the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings,
You shall be king,
and Thane of Cawdor too, when it not so.
to the selfsame tune and words. Who's there?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success, and when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, he wonders and his praises do contend, what should be thine or his, as thick as hail, came post with post, and every one did bear thy praises in his kingdom's great defence, and poured them down before him.
We are sent to give thee from our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And for an earnest of greater honor, he bade me from him call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which edition hail most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
What? Can the devil speak true?
The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who is the Thane lives yet, but under heavy judgment bears that life which he deserves to lose. Whether he was combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel of hidden help and vantage, or that with both he labored in his country's wreck, I know not. But treason's capital, confessed and proved, have overthrown him.
Glamis and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thanks for your pains. Do you not hope your children shall be kings, when those that gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That trusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown. Besides the Thane of Cawdor, but 'tis strange, and oftentimes to win us to our harm, the instruments of darkness tell us truths, win us with honest trifles, to betrays in deepest consequence. Cousins, a word, I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. Cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath he given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, what do I yield to that suggestion whose horrid image doth fix my hair, and make my seated heart knock at my ribs against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings. My thought, whose murder yet is but fantastical, shakes so my single state of man that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
After encountering the witches, Macbeth sends a message home to his wife, sharing news of the witches' prophecy and his new title, Thane of Cawdor.
Glamis thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full o' the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great, art not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that wouldst thou holily, wouldst not play false, and yet wouldst wrongly win. Thou'lt have, great Glamis, that which cries thus thou must do, if thou have it, and that which rather thou dost fear to do than which should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour my spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
Thou'rt mad to say it. Is not thy master with him, who, weren't so, would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. One of my fellows had the speed of him, who, almost dead for breath, had scarcely more than would make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself is hoarse, that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctuous visiting of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my women's breasts and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substance you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, Hold! Hold! Great Glamis, worthy Cador, greater than both, but by the all-hail hereafter. Thy letters have transported me beyond this ignorant presence, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters. To beguile the time, look like the time. Bear welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall to all our nights and days to come give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle hath a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting marlet, does approve, by his loved masonry, that the heaven's breath smells wooingly here. No jutty frieze, buttress, nor coign of vantage, but this bird hath made his pendant, bed, and procreant cradle, where they most breed and haunt. I have observed, the air is delicate.
See, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometime is our trouble, which still we thank is love. Herein I teach you how you shall bid God eldest for your pains, and thank us for your trouble.
All our service in every point, twice done and then done double, for poor and single business to contend against those honors, deep and broad, wherewith your majesty loads our house. For those of old and the late dignities heaped upon them, we rest your hermits.
Where's the Thane of Cador? We coursed him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love, sharp as his spur, hath helped him to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guests tonight.
Your servants ever have theirs, themselves and what is theirs, in compt to make their audit at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand, conduct me to mine host. We love him highly, and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well. It were done quickly. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed, then as his host, who should against his murder shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. And pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye. That tear shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which e'er leaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man, and to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail?
We fail. But screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the water of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? Would not put upon his spongy officers who shall bear the guilt of our quell.
Bring forth men children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy 2 of his own chamber, and use their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dare receives it other, as we make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up, each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
Outside, Macbeth contemplates Duncan's murder.
Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation, proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Thou sure and firm said earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prey to my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time, which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Worse the heat of deeds to cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the sternest good night. He is about it. The doors are open, and the surfeited grooms do mark their charges with snores. I have drugged their posits, that death and nature do contend about them whether they live or die.
Who's there? What ho!
Alack, I'm afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. The attempt and not the deed confounds us. Hark! I've laid their daggers ready. He could not have missed them. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. My husband!
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the owl scream and the crickets cry. Did not you speak?
When?
Now.
As I descended?
Aye.
Hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donalbain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought, to say a sorry sight. These deeds must not be thought of after these ways, so it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, sleep no more! Macbeth does murder sleep, the innocent sleep, sleep that knits up the ravel sleep of care.
the death of each day's life. Sore labor's bath, balm of hurt minds. Great nature's second course, chief nourisher in life's feast.
What do you mean?
Still I cried, sleep no more! To all the house, Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more! Macbeth shall sleep no more.
Who was it thus cried? Why, worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly of things. Go get some water, and wash this filthy witness from your hand. Why did you bring these daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go carry them and smear the sleeping grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I am afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose! Give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If he do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? House with me when every noise appalls me. What hands are here? Ah, they pluck out mine eyes. Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hand? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seeds of Incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of this deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark! More knocking. Get on your nightgown, lest occasion call us, and show us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Oh, horror, horror, horror! Tongue nor heart cannot conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Confusion now hath made his masterpiece. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke ope the Lord's anointed temple, and stole thence the life of the building.
Mean you his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your sight with a new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See and then speak yourselves. Awake, awake, ring the alarum bell. Murder and treason, Banquo and Donalbain, Malcolm, awake. Shake off this downy sleep, death's counterfeit, and look on death itself. Up and see the great doom's image. Malcolm, Banquo, as from your graves rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
After discovering the murder, the king's sons, Malcolm and Donalbain, flee the castle, fearing for their lives. Malcolm makes for England, and Donalbain for Ireland.
Threescore and 10 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Ah, good father, thou seest the heavens as trouble with man's act, threatened his bloody stage by the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles the travelling lamp. Its night's predominance o'er the day's shame. The darkness does the face of earth and tomb when living light should kiss it.
'Tis unnatural, even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousingel hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, their minions of their race, turned wild in nature, broke their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience, as they would make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so, to the amazement of mine eyes that looked upon it. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
It's known who did this more than bloody deed.
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas the day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Malcolm and Donalbain, the king's two sons, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Gainst nature still, thriftless ambition that wilt raven up thine own life's means, then 'tis the most like the sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be invested.
In the prince's absence, the Scottish crown falls to Macbeth. Banquo, privy to the witch's prophecy, suspects his friend Macbeth of the king's murder.
Thou has it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all
as the weird women promised, and, I fear, thou playedst most foully for't, yet it was said it should not stand in thy posterity, but that myself should be the root and father of many kings. If there come truth from them, as upon thee, Macbeth, their speeches shine. Why, by the verities on thee made good, may they not be my oracles as well, and set me up in hope? But hush, no more.
How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Let your remembrance apply to Banquo. Present him eminence, both with eye and tongue, unsafe the while that we must lave our honors in these flattering streams, and make our faces vizard to our hearts, disguising what they are.
You must leave this.
Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo in his faience lives.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Come sealing night, scarf up the tender eye of pitiful day, and with thy bloody and invisible hand, cancel and tear to pieces that great bond which keeps me pale. Light thickens, and the crow makes wing to the rooky wood. Good things of day begin to droop and drowse, while night's black agents to their praise do rouse. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things bad begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me.
Paranoid, Macbeth arranges the murder of Banquo and his son Fleance.
Oh, treachery! Fly, good Fleance, fly, fly, fly! Thou mayest revenge. Slave!
The hired murderers kill Banquo, but his son Fleance escapes. Back in the castle, Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, acting as king and queen, hold court. At the banquet table, Macbeth, having recently learned of his friend's murder, encounters Banquo's ghost.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is sold, that is not often vouched. While 'tis a making, 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home. From thence the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrancer, now good digestion wait on appetite, and help on both.
May it please your highness sit?
The ghost of Banquo enters, seen only by Macbeth.
Here had we now our country's honored roofed, were the graced person of our Banquo present, whom we have rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please it your highness to grace us with your royal company.
The table's full.
Here's a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it. Never shake thy gory locks at me.
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is not well.
Sit, worthy friends, my lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. Pray you, keep seat. The fit is momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
I am a bold one, that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Oh, proper stuff. This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which, you said, led you to Duncan. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there. Behold, look, lo, how say you? Why, what care I, if thou canst nod, speak to? If charnel houses and our graves must send, those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the moths of kites.
What, quite unmanned in folly?
Blood hath been shed ere now, the olden time. The times have been that when the brains wrought the man would die. And there an end, but now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My worthy lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those that know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to our dear friend Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here, to all in him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt, and quit my sight! Let the earth hide thee! Thy bones are mirrorless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with. Hence, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery! Hence! Why so, being gone? I am a man again. Pray you, sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting with most admired disorder.
What sights, my lord?
I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
It will have blood, they say. Blood will have blood. Stones have been known to move and trees to speak. Augurs and understood relations have by maggot pies and chose and books brought forth. The secret man of blood. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in his house. I keep a servant feed. I will tomorrow, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know. By the worst means, the worst. For mine own good, all causes shall give way. I am in blood. Stepped in so far that should I wait no more. Returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head, that will to hand, which must be acted, ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet young indeed.
By the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. Open locks, whoever knocks.
How now, you secret black and midnight hags? What is you do?
A deed without a name.
I conjure you, by that which you profess. How are you come to know it? Answer me. Though you untie the winds and let them fight against the churches, though the yesty waves confound and swallow navigation up, though bladed corn be lodged and trees blown down, though castles topple on their warders' heads, though palaces and pyramids do slope their heads to their foundations, thou, the treasure of nature's Germans, tumble all together, even till destruction sicken. Answer me to what I ask you.
Speak. Demand.
We'll answer. Say if thou'st rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters.
Call him. Let me see him.
Pour in sow's blood that hath eaten her 9 farrow, grease that sweatin' from the murderers, gibbet throw into the flame.
Come, high or low, thyself in office deathly show.
Tell me, thou unknown power.
He knows thy thought, hear his speech, but say thou not. Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware thine of fife, dismiss me, enough.
Whatever thou art, for thy good caution thanks. Thou hast harped my fear aright, but one word more.
He will not be commanded. Here's another, more potent than the first.
Macbeth, Macbeth, Macbeth.
Had I 3 ears, I'd hear thee.
Be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of woman born shall harm Macbeth.
Then live, Macduff. What need I fear of thee? But yet, I'll make assurance double sure, and take a bond of fate. Thou shalt not live, that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies, and sleep in spite of thunder. What is this that rises like the issue of a king, and wears upon his baby brow the rounded top of sovereignty?
Listen, but speak not to it. Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or where conspirers are. Macbeth shall never be vanquished till great Birnam Wood, to high Dunsinane Hill, shall come against him.
That will never be. Who can impress the forest, bid the tree unfix his earthbound root? Sweet Bodemans, good. Rebellion's head rise never till the wood of Birnam rise, and our high places Macbeth shall live the lease of nature, pay his breath. To time and mortal custom, yet my heart throbs to know one thing. Tell me, if your art can tell so much, shall banquisition ever reign in this kingdom?
Seek to know no more.
I will be satisfied. Deny me this and an eternal curse fall on you. Let me know. Why stinks that cauldron? And what noise is this?
Show!
Show!
Show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart.
Thou art too like the spirit of Banquo. Down! Thy crown does sear mine eyeballs. Filthy hags, why do you show me this? What, will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? I'll see no more. For the blood bolter Banquo smiles upon me and points at them for his. Where are they? Gone? Let this pernicious hour stand aye accursed in the calendar.
Inspired by the witch's prophecy, Macbeth sends murderers to Macduff's castle. With Macduff gone to England to seek after Prince Malcolm, Macduff's family is left defenseless.
He has killed me, mother. Run away, I pray you.
Having traveled to England to persuade Prince Malcolm to levy an army against Macbeth, Macduff receives grievous news about his family.
Be their comfort, we are coming thither. Gracious England hath let us good Seward and 10,000 men, an older and a better soldier none, that Christendom gives out.
What I could answer this comfort with the like, but I have words that would be howled in the desert air, where hearing should not latch them.
What concern they? The general cause, or is it a fee grief due to some single breast?
No mind that's honest, but ensures some woe, though the main part pertains to you alone.
If it be mine, keep it not from me. Quickly, let me have it.
Let not your ears despise my tongue forever, which shall possess them with the heaviest sound that they yet never heard.
I guess it.
Your castle is surprised, your wife and babe savagely slaughtered, to relate the manner whereon the quarry of these murdered deer, to add the death of you.
Merciful heaven, what man, ne'er pull your hat upon your brows, give sorrow words, the grief that does not speak, whispers the o'erfraught heart and bids break.
My children, too?
Wife, children, servants, all that could be found.
And I must be from thence. My wife killed too?
I have said.
Be comforted. Let's make us medicines of our great revenge to cure this deadly grief.
He has no children. All my pretty ones. Did you say all, oh hellkite, all? What, all my pretty chickens and their dam at one fell swoop?
Dispute it like a man.
I shall do so. But I must also feel it as a man. I cannot but remember such things were that were most precious to me. Did heaven look on and would not take their part? Sinful Macduff, they were all struck for thee, not that I am, not for their own demerits, but for mine. Feel slaughter on their souls, heaven rest them now.
Be this the whetstone of your sword. Let grief convert to anger, blunt not the heart, enrage it.
Oh, I could play the woman with mine eyes and braggart with my tongue, but gentle heavens cut short. All intermission, front to front. Bring thou this fiend of Scotland and myself within my sword's length set him. If he scape, heaven forgive him too.
This tomb goes manly. Come, go we to the king. Our power is ready. Our lack is nothing but our leave. Macbeth is ripe for shaking, and the powers above put on their instruments. Receive what cheer you may. The night is long that never finds the day.
Back in Scotland, Lady Macbeth, overcome with guilt and grief, has taken to sleepwalking.
Out. Damned spot. Out, I say. 1, 2. Why then, 'tis time to do it. Hell is murky. Fie, my lord, fie, a soldier and a feared. What need we fear, who knows it, when none can call our power to account? Yet who would have thought the old man to have had so much blood in him? To bed, there's knocking at the gate. Come, give me your hand. What's done cannot be undone. To bed.
Supplied with 10,000 men, Macduff and Malcolm lead the English army to Scotland to face the tyrant Macbeth.
Bring me no more reports. Let them fly all. Till Burnham Wood remove to Dunsinane, I cannot taint with fear. What's the boy, Malcolm? Was he not born of woman? The spirits that know all mortal consequences have pronounced me thus. Fear not, Macbeth. No man that's born of woman shall e'er have power upon thee. Then fly, false thanes, and mingle with the English epicures. The mind I sway by and the heart I bear shall never sag with doubt nor shake with fear. The devil damn thee black, thou cream-faced loon. Where gost thou that goose look?
There is 10,000.
Geese villain!
Soldiers, sir, the English force, so please you.
I'll fight till from my bones my flesh be hacked. Give me my armor.
'Tis not needed yet.
Bring it after me. I will not be afraid of death in bane till Burnham Wood come to Dunsinane.
What wood is this before us?
The wood of Burnham.
Let every soldier hew him down a bow and bear it before him. Thereby shall we shadow the numbers of our hosts and make discovery ere in report of us.
It shall be done. The time approaches that will with due decision make us know what we shall say we have and what we owe. Thoughts speculative their unsure hopes relate, but certain issues strokes must arbitrate, towards which advance the war.
Hang our banners on the outward walls. The cry is still, they come. Our castle strength will laugh us each to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced with those that should be ours, we might have met them dareful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home. What is that noise?
The queen, my lord, is dead.
She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. Creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusky death. Out, brief candle, lies but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thou comest to use thy tongue, thy story quickly.
Gracious my lord, I should report that which I say I saw, but know not how to do it.
Well say, sir.
As I did stand my watch upon the hill, I looked toward Burnham, and anon methought the wood began to move.
Liar and slave!
Let me endure your wrath, if not be not so. Within this 3 mile may you see it coming, I say a moving grove.
If thou speakest false, upon the next tree shalt thou hang alive till famine cling thee. If thy speech be sooth, I care not if thou dost for me as much. I pull in resolution, and begin to doubt the equivocation of the fiend that lies like truth. Fear not till Burnham Wood do come to Dunsinane, and now a wood comes to Dunsinane. Arm and out! If this which he avouches does appear, there is nor flying hence, nor tarrying here. I gin to be aweary of the sun, and wish the estate of the world were now undone. Ring the alarm bell, blow wind, come rack. At least we'll die with harness on our back. Why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I see lives, the gashes do better upon them.
Turn, hellhound, turn!
Of all men else, I have avoided thee. But get thee back. My soul is too much charged with blood of thine already.
I have no words. My voice is in my sword, thou bloodier villain than terms can give thee out.
Thou losest labor, as easy mayst thou thee entrench in air. With thy keen sword and press as make me bleed, let fall thy blade on vulnerable crests. I bear a charmed life, which must not yield to one of woman born.
Despair thy charm, and let the angel whom thou still hast served tell thee Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped.
Accursed be the tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed that palter with us in a double sense, that keep the word of promise to our ear, and break it to our hope. I'll not fight with thee.
Then yield thee, coward, and live to be the show and gaze of the time. We'll have thee, as our rarer monsters are, painted on a pole and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant.
I will not yield! To kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Though Burnham Wood be come to Dunsinane, and though opposed being of no woman born, yet I will try the last. Before my body, I throw my warlike shield. Lay on Macduff, and damned be him that first cries, hold! Enough!
In the scuffle, Macduff slays Macbeth, securing Malcolm's victory. Macduff appears before the new king with with the severed head of his foe.
Hail, King, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their minds, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. Hail, King of Scotland!
Hail,
King of Scotland!
We shall not spend a large expense of time before we reckon with your several loves, and make us even with you, my thanes and kinsmen, henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honour named. What's more to do, which would be planted newly with the time, as calling home our exiled friends abroad that fled the snares of watchful tyranny, producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen, who, as 'tis thought by self and violent hands, took off her life, this and what needful else, that calls upon us, by the grace of grace, we will perform in measured time and place. So thanks to all at once, and to each one whom we invite to see us crowned at Scone.